Welcome back, fellow hose drinkers. It is me, Alex Smith, here with cousin Josh and, of course, Cooper Roberts from the Chicken Coop. We are doing a little specialty episode to preview some bowl games. We're going to talk about a couple of picks we got and then a little Mount Rushmore at the end. So, not a full usual episode, but just a little sneak preview of what we got. So, what do you want to get started with?
Well, I actually have a question before we get going. Since Coop sometimes likes to give spicy questions, so I want to start if Coop doesn't have one. We will do one. You like that?
Okay.
All right. So did sorry, it's on my phone. And as I was talking about it, I forget it. So did we invent math or did we discover it?
Hmm. I'm gonna have to go with Discover. I think I like Discover more.
I think we invented it.
I think we invented it.
And the only reason I say Discover is just because real life application that it like applies to, for example, like there's 4 chickens over there, 2 just ran off.
Dude,
There's
I
2
thought
chickens.
I had to.
There's 2 chickens in the coop. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like it was always there. So, we just discovered it and put it on paper.
Okay, fair, fair. You can't forget about old PEMDAS.
Yeah, true. That's why that's why I'm just going thinking outside the box, Discovery. But I could definitely see where we invented it. PIMDOS, shout out.
Well, so to get into some bowl games here, I will give a little rundown very, very quickly of who has won so far. And when I mean quickly, quickly. So today, Boston College has beaten SMU 23-14. Rutgers beat Miami 31-24. Kansas State and NC State are playing right now. Arizona and Oklahoma play later tonight at 9:15 p.m. So Georgia Southern, of course, lost to Ohio. We won't talk about that score. Howard lost to Florida A&M 30-26. Jacksonville State beat Louisiana 34-31. App State beat Miami 13-9. Fresno State beat New Mexico State 37-10. UCLA won 35-22 against Boise State. Texas Tech beat Cal 34-14. Western Carolina beat Old Dominion in overtime 38-35. UTSA beat Marshall 35-17. South Florida beat Syracuse 45-0. Georgia Tech beat UCF 30-17. Duke beat Troy 17-10. Northern Illinois beat Arkansas State 21-19. Air Force won against James Madison 31-21. Georgia State beat Utah State 45-22. South Alabama beat Eastern Michigan 59-10. Northwestern beat Utah 14-7. Coastal Carolina beat San Jose State 24-14. Minnesota beat Bowling Green 30-24. Texas State beat Rice 45-21. Kansas beat UNLV 49-36. Tulane lost to Virginia Tech 41-20. West Virginia beat UNC 30-10. USC beat Louisville 42-28. Oklahoma State beat Texas A&M 31-23. So what we have left: Kentucky, Clemson, Notre Dame, Oregon State, Iowa, Memphis, Ohio State, Missouri, Penn State, Ole Miss, Maryland, Auburn, Georgia, Florida State, Wyoming, Toledo, Wisconsin, LSU, Oregon and Liberty, Tennessee and Iowa, and of course, Alabama, Michigan, and Texas and Washington. That took a lot longer than I thought.
Great slate.
Great slate, dude. I feel like that was the fastest 3 minutes that they do on was it Sunday night?
Yeah, on the countdown.
I don't think I could read off of a prompter though. That would probably be the difficulty there.
Dude, I tell you what, I just watched the ending of that Miami game. Probably one of the poorest attempts I've seen at a last, second drive to tie the game up. Miami did everything they needed to, recovered the onside kick, did everything they needed to get in that position, and then literally goes 4 and out with 3. It looked like they didn't even care. Like 3 sorry plays back to back to back, and then the 4th play was even worse. So
bad game management, in my opinion.
yeah, terrible. So
But obviously, Georgia plays before the playoffs. So, Al, you want to give us a little rundown on the game coming up for the Dogs?
Well, this here is Florida State is missing, I think now 16 players. The spread has gone from opening at Georgia minus 13 or so to now Georgia minus 20. Georgia has just about everybody opted in to play. Kamari Lassiter and Javon Bullard are both going to play in this game. Huge, because I really thought the Lassiter was going to sit out. I don't even know what to say here. If you're Georgia and you win and then you're doing what is expected, anything less is going to be a big disappointment. But State is in a win-win scenario here. If they lose big. Then they can say we're missing this many players. If they win, the 2017 UCF National Championship route. So I don't see where Florida State has any strategic advantages against Georgia here. But I don't know. It really sucks that they're missing that many players because I wanted to see both of these teams at full force go up against each other.
right. And some of those FSU players are already saying, if we go undefeated, why I think we should be natty champs. They're already taking that UCF type of mentality around. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them have already put it out there. That's what they're thinking.
Yeah, no kid. I mean, they've obviously lost half their roster, it feels like, honestly. I mean, to everywhere all over the country. I mean, I don't see if Georgia plays their game and takes care of business, I see it being at least a 30-point loss by Florida State.
Yeah, and I like that. It's just the 20 points scares me. It's so much. But like you said, 16 players out for FSU. Georgia's got pretty much everybody playing. Maybe not Brock, but I know I saw where Ladd said if he's healthy, he's playing. So Ladd's planning on playing.
I think your major contributors that will not be playing is Brock Bowers and Amarius Mims, and that's both injury related.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's just like I easily could see Georgia spanking Florida State, but it's just I don't know. Like I said earlier, kind of feels a little trappy to me, but just because the spread's so big. But then again, I could easily see it hitting. It's just you don't get to look at 20-point spreads a lot and be like, oh yeah, that's a lock.
And the total, I mean, they're projecting like a 35-10 Georgia win.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in a bowl game, it's crazy numbers. I mean, it's hard to handicap bowl games in general. I mean, especially with the transfer portal and stuff. I mean, we haven't seen that big of a spread at all in any of these bowl games.
Especially for a New Year's Six bowl. Like, that's crazy.
You're also seeing spreads move more than a touchdown in just the span of 2 or 3 days, depending on which one of your players is opting out, players is hitting the portal, so on and so forth. It moved down since it originally opened for the Georgia game.
I mean, I just, at least in my head, of course we got to see how the game goes and stuff, but in my head, I really see the Dogs taking care of business, shutting down on defense. And like you said, probably 35-10 is what they're looking at right now based on the total. And dude, I just State, they're starting a true freshman. All of their other quarterbacks are either a freshman or a redshirt freshman, I'm pretty sure. They've got nobody on the defense, nobody at receiver. I mean, I don't see Florida State keeping it close. And of course, like I said, you got to see on game time what Florida State brings and what they have. Maybe first quarter they jump out. Who knows? Dogs have been known to letting a touchdown up early and then fighting to come back.
Right. That happened a lot this year.
I think the SEC championship was the first game that Georgia didn't allow opponent to get an opening. So that's something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, true.
And that's crazy, man. That's the first time they did it all season, and they lost that game. And I mean, one thing I am fine with is guys like Bowers and Mims sitting out for injury. Like, that's completely understandable because they are, Brock Bowers probably going to be should be a top 5 pick. And
Yeah.
Mims is probably going to be a top 15, top 20 pick. So I do agree with them sitting out, but I just don't like these players sitting out for no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I agree.
Sit out for an injury. If not, you deserve the school and the fans and the coaches and your teammates one last game.
Yeah.
And for some of these cases, like guys like Caleb Williams and all that, and the money they invested in you.
Yeah,
Well,
well, NIL nowadays it gets to being like a bidding war. So you're right. I mean, some of these schools are like really invested in these players, and so when they kind of do that, it's kind of like a smack in the face almost.
what doesn't make sense to me is opting out of a bowl game and then playing in the Reese's Senior Bowl.
Yeah, yeah. Like, what is that? That's the same thing.
Alec, the Reese's Senior Bowl is on a Saturday, I'm pretty sure. I want to check the date. Coop, you might be interested in this, but Alec, I know you're going to be really interested in this. Would you be curious of going to the Senior Bowl?
Depends on the day.
Saturday, February 3rd at 1 p.m. Mobile, Alabama.
Uh-oh. Camellia Bowl. Or is that Birmingham?
Birmingham.
Ah,
Southern did play in a bowl game there. It was the GoDaddy Bowl at the time. I'm not too sure what the bowl game is called now.
that's when we beat Bowling Green.
Yeah. So we got to try to make a trip down to the Senior Bowl. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that'd definitely be fun.
And I think we could swing some tickets.
Ooh.
And probably the fellow friends, group of 5 guys might be there too. I know they usually try to go to the Senior Bowl every year.
Saw a fun fact. I was in Albany this past week and was eating at a restaurant, local place, and saw a guy wearing a group of 5 guys hoodie.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
So
Yeah, dude, worldwide.
yeah, it was an eye catcher. I was like, wow.
Dude, they're going big, man. I mean, this past year, this past football season as a whole, they've gained a lot of fans and a lot of followers on social media and stuff. I mean, they're taking it to the next level right now. I think next season they're going to blow up big time.
Yeah. So it was definitely eye opening. I was like, dang, the guys repping their merch.
Yeah, no kidding. But Coop, we obviously talked about Georgia. What do you think's going to happen? Alabama, Michigan, they're playing in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, for me, I don't know what's going to happen. I like Michigan, but if history says anything, Alabama's going to win the game.
Well, I mean, like I said, I love being the underdog, so I like how Michigan's favored. It's like I said before, like with Georgia, like if they wanted to beat us, they had to stat the box, make Milroe throw. And I feel like that's still anybody's game plan. Like if you watch our tape and like see it with anybody, make them throw, we're going to be in trouble. But he's proven to be pretty elite. So I like our matchup. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think Michigan threw the ball like 9 times against Ohio State, or maybe a game after that. They threw the ball for maybe a total of 9 times. And that either maybe be in like one half or the whole game. But when I'm just, putting X's to O's, I mean, with that defensive front we got, you're not going to be, running the ball or throwing the ball only 9 times against us. Like, you're going to have to throw it. Like, you can't run all over that front 7 defense. So, sorry, I was getting told not to come out there for some rapping. But, like I said, like if they think they're going to run all over us, I don't think that's the case. So we're going to have to make them throw as well. So it's just going to be interesting who gets to control the run game. So I think whoever gets that is going to have a really good chance at winning.
100%. I mean, we obviously all saw what Alabama's defensive front did to Georgia. I mean, Michigan probably has, one of the top 5 offensive line in the country. So, like you said, I expect Alabama to bring pressure and make McCarthy throw the ball. And if he does, and if Alabama does that, expect Alabama to at least get one interception, possibly two. Because the game
Yeah.
is going to be back and forth no matter who wins.
Yeah, and I really like our secondary. They showed up and played really good. Caleb Downs, heck of a freshman, got that freshman award for best freshman in America. That dude has stepped up big. When Kool-Aid got hurt in the SEC, Caleb stepped up and really took over that secondary and took command and charge. And so I think that quit crying. I think that if he comes out and shows out play, he's going to get at least a pick or two just if we have to make them throw. I mean, that dude is a freak.
Is Kool-Aid playing?
I think he is. I mean, the injury didn't seem that serious, and I haven't seen anything about him not playing. McClellan, he's going to be playing. He didn't play against y'all in the SEC championship because he was his foot, but they said that this time off really helped him, and so he's supposed to play too. So that gives us another edge back to our offense, even though Roy Dell and that Miller did really fine against Georgia. But, our offensive lines are stepping up a lot. I've been really impressed with our offensive line. They've really been controlling the line of scrimmage and doing really good. So, like I said, whoever gets control of the run game, I feel like has a really good chance of winning that ball game.
Cooper, how long did it take you to start saying Kool-Aid with a straight face?
It took me a little while. Okay, sorry. Chip just tried to break loose, run out on the town. So he literally just broke loose and tried to run next door, I guess. But it took me a little while, but it's coming along. I'm going to miss him in the secondary, especially just getting to say, yeah, that's Kool-Aid back there. Like, what? Huh?
Dude, I don't know, man. As a Georgia fan, I just hope Michigan wins, honestly. Like, I'm sorry, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought it'd be mutual the same way. Like, if y'all win it and then y'all play Michigan, like, I would hope, like, I would want Michigan to win, but realistically, I probably know Georgia's going to handle business just because the type of game it is and, all that stuff.
As a college football fan, no allegiances anywhere. I want to see a Washington-Michigan natty, a team that hasn't won it in decades, getting their redemption shot and, return to the top. And, I mean, I think that Alabama's probably the best team in the country. I think they really showed that against Georgia. They controlled the line of scrimmages the best. Oh, how much I know Ohio State, but how good is Ohio State? I don't really know.
Yeah. And it's like when Florida State made that argument, like, they should go to the playoff. Even that's like the year Ohio State went with Cardell Jones, winning the whole thing. That might be the case. Like, yeah, that argument, they can be in the playoff. But if we're being honest, that Florida State team is not like that Ohio State team that won that national championship.
no, not at all. I mean, look at the guys that Ohio State had on that team besides in the quarterback room that went to the NFL.
Yeah.
Offensive line, Ezekiel Elliott, Bosa. I mean, I feel sure we can name a whole bunch of other guys. I mean,
yeah.
Florida State team versus that Ohio State team wouldn't stand a chance, no matter who played at quarterback for Ohio State. Even with Jordan Travis, Travis, they wouldn't even stand a chance, man.
Ezekiel Elliott was so good that year.
He was, dude. It was crazy.
I was at that national championship against Oregon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was thinking the other day, I was thinking about when they're showing the Washington-Bama playoff footage from when we played, in the playoff a handful of years ago. I was at that game. It was in the Georgia Dome. The last game played in the Georgia Dome was Bama-Washington playoff. I got to watch it. Jake Browning was the quarterback, who's, doing pretty good in the NFL now.
That was the last college game in the Georgia Dome.
Yeah, last college game, sorry.
I was actually at the last game in the Georgia Dome when the Falcons beat the Packers to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
And I had tears in my eyes, but little did I know who Tom Brady was. So
Yeah, then Tom did what he did.
yeah. But yeah, dude, going back to Texas and Washington, I mean, I'm like Alec. I'd like to see a Michigan and Washington, but I really think it's going to end up being probably just Bama and Texas. Honestly, that'd be worst case scenario for me. But no, man, I do like Michigan and I do like Texas personally. If you were hypothetically going to put a wager on it.
Cooper,
Hypothetically, I'm taking Texas.
who would you least rather play as an Alabama fan out of the other side of the bracket?
I mean, I guess Washington, just because their offense is really explosive. We haven't played them yet, but I want Texas, and any Alabama fan knows knows the same feeling. Like, we want Texas. I want that rematch. So
If Alabama makes it to the national championship, it doesn't matter who they play. I think they're going to absolutely wipe the floor with them.
it's just hard to beat Saban twice. So I don't know if Sarkisian's got it in them, and like everyone's been saying, we're a different team. So I want to see the matchup, see how we play.
Oh, Alabama's obviously much different team than they were when they lost to Texas.
Yeah. So I'm ready to see everyone's been hyping it up. I really want to see it in action.
But yeah, man. So y'all got anything else for college football before we jump into a little gambling corner?
I think I'm good. That's it for me.
Oh,
All right. So I guess I will start us off for the old gambling corner. I have one pick this week. We're not going to talk about my record. I went 1-3 last week. Who cares? We're not losing money here. It's all hypotheticals, so it's great. I have tonight the Jets versus the Browns. I have Brees Hall over 44.5 rushing yards tonight, Thursday night versus the Browns. Book it.
seems like a lock to me.
Yep.
Al, you want to go for us?
So I went last week, and now we're back down to one pick a week until I can go 0 and then 2-0. So I got Missouri plus 3.5 versus Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. Josh, I don't have a whole lot of logic to back this one up other than that is what my stomach told me. I could sit here and, pick out a bunch of statistical categories and, talk about guys that Ohio State is missing and so on and so forth. But honestly, I don't need any logic better than what my gut is telling me. So Missouri Tigers plus 3.5.
Nice.
What you got, Coop?
I'm doing the same route. I like Missouri Tigers plus 3.5. And then let's see what my other play was. It was okay. Here it is. It is Ole Miss plus 5 against Penn State.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Ole Miss too.
Yep.
Stingy State has, but can Penn State's offense score any?
No kidding.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. So that's why I like Ole Miss plus 5. Or what was it? Did I say 5 or 4?
I think it's 4.5, actually.
4.5. And then our last one, got to take the Dirty Birds plus 3.5 at the Bears.
I like that a lot, Coop.
So if Heineke can keep it together and we stay composed, not turn the ball over, I like plus 3.5 a lot.
Maybe the Falcons will beat the Bears and maybe get a little preview of their future quarterback in Justin Fields. That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm on that train yet, but we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
With protection, he's got to have protection. What offensive line has he had with the Bears at all? Falcons obviously need to improve that position, and they have good cap space to do that. I'm not sure what it is, but I think they have an above average amount compared to everybody else in the league.
They
Yeah,
did
we had a
spend
lot this offseason.
What'd you say, Alec?
spend a lot of money in free agency last year, but I don't know what it's looking like.
That was like, I think the trade, like we didn't go for Lamar, so now we spent a lot in other positions, which ended up working, but now we just need the quarterback. So
need the quarterback and the offensive line for sure.
yeah.
And of course build that receiver room a little bit as well. I mean, they need depth. What are you saying now?
Need another pass catcher.
Yeah, no kidding.
Do
So
that or bits.
So we got 2 celebrity guest pickers this week. We have got the Bullfrog, Gavin Bloodworth, coming back for another week. He did, you look at, losing record, but he did call me after the tweet. He said that he ended up taking last minute was the Titans +3 instead of 2.5. So we ended up pushing. So I let him rerun it for another week because he was technically right at 500. So he's not had a losing week for us. So he is on a good train right now. So he's got 4 picks this week. The Colts -3.5. The Bills -12.5. The Giants, the G strings, +4.5. And Michigan -1.5.
Okay.
So we've got another one. The old Matt Muse. Interesting cat. Missouri +3.5. Oklahoma +2.5. And Texas -4.
Nice.
Glad to see he's
So, and then for Pepe's weekly 4-pack straight off the Zero Turn Toro, he has got Memphis. He didn't text me the spread, so bear with me here. Memphis isn't playing. Oh, yeah, Memphis +10.5 versus Iowa State. He has got Michigan -1.5 against Alabama. UGA 5-star play, but book it at 20 or less. So he's saying if it jumps over 20, lay off. If it stays at 20 or goes back down, book it.
I like it.
And then the Detroit Lions +5.5 versus the Cowboys in Dallas on
That's
Friday.
spicy.
indoors, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, I kind of like the Cowboys there, but I mean, who's to say you can't go 3-1 this week? So,
Well,
Yeah.
if y'all see that splits on Jared Goff playing indoors, outdoors,
yeah, man, I've seen it. It's bad.
he is astronomically better when they play inside, which is crazy because he's a Cali boy. So you'd think that, I guess it's maybe just the cold weather or something like that. But yeah,
Maybe the Cowboys will open up the roof and throw them off a little bit.
ooh, now that would be diabolical.
Someone's looking into that stat and definitely thinking about that.
Jerry Jones is looking at that stat and he's saying, we're opening this freaking roof right now.
Yeah. Don't care if it's raining or what.
Yeah, we're going to let it be open all week. Like, let's get the field nasty, get all that fresh air in there. Like, we got to win this game, especially for standings wise for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if the Cowboys lose, we got to get your brother Jack on the pod, Dylan, your brother Jack and Dylan to get on the pod and vent a little bit, Al.
When the Cowboys lose, Jack goes into hibernation. He would only.
Dylan's kind of like a realistic Cowboys fan, and he's always like, yeah, like, I'm not surprised we lost. Like, it's always the Cowboys. Like, we always do this shit late in the season.
At least he's a realist.
Yeah, well, I mean, he only knows heartbreak at the end of the season. So,
Yeah.
I mean, as a Jets fan, I mean, I only know eating shit. So, other than losing in the AFC Championship back-to-back years, we were close.
Here's a question for you. Outside of your favorite teams, what's one team, just a franchise in general that you think just deserves a championship?
Buffalo.
Maybe not want to see them win one.
Buffalo.
Buffalo's mine.
I kind of want to.
I know they're in the Jets division, and that's all right. But I mean, just obviously with the bias with Tyler Bass. But I mean, dude, Buffalo diehard fans never won a Super Bowl. I mean, come on.
I kind of want to see the Browns.
With Flacco?
Yeah, with Flacco.
Dude,
That
that
would
would be insane if Flacco does that, dude, with
That'd be the most electric
their
thing ever.
defense is, as good as their defense is and as good as Amari Cooper is, dude, think about it. They're going on this run right now with Deshaun Watson out and Nick Chubb out.
Yeah.
Like, and Joe Flacco as their quarterback.
It's crazy.
he would have to retire here because I mean, there's
Yeah.
no match that again next year.
Dude,
Yeah, that'd be the best way to go out.
dude, like coming off the couch, middle to the end of the season and just balling out, dude.
Right.
But I hope he loses tonight. Jets, Jets, Jets.
Well, I think what's even as impressive as what he's doing is the he stayed game ready for that long. Because I mean, he's been balling.
Well, especially at his age, too. I mean, he's probably what, 37, 38 years old, probably.
38 would be my guess.
Something like that.
Let's hit a Google. Joe Flacco. He's 38 on the dot. All right, so little Mount Rushmore this week. We have got the Mount Rushmore of people you would like to eat dinner with, have a couple beverages with, and just really chat it up. So it could be anybody dead or alive, anybody famous, doesn't matter. So I do not have my list right now. I'm still kind of deciding if anybody wants to go.
Well, I'll rattle mine off because I'm about to go to dinner in a second. So I'll rattle mine off. Y'all can give me y'all's thoughts, and then I might sign off a little early if that's cool with y'all.
Yeah, that's straight, man.
My first one got to be Nick Saban. I want to pick that brain of his.
Okay.
Why pull Jalen Hurts at halftime? How'd you know Tua was going to do that? How'd you know? You know, stuff like that. Just like second one would have to be I'd say lead singer or actually just whole band, Leonard Skinner. Them boys like to get down, like to have a few drinks with them and kick back with them. And then my third one would be who my third one would be? I might just have to say Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Like he's pretty interesting. I feel like that's an interesting dude.
Right.
You know, I saw a video one time where they said like it was like a doctor when he was younger saying like how he stays like extremely calm during high stress situations, like to the point where like you only see this kind of traits in like serial killers and stuff. And that's basically what they told his parents. They're like, he is like extremely calm, like in high stressful situations. It's like not normal. Like usually when someone's wrong with somebody. So I'd like to sit down and talk to him and just kind of, which I've seen some podcasts on him, but I mean, I'd like to sit down and really pick his brain a little bit. So those have to be my three: Saban, Leonard Skinner, Joe Burrow. Stretch it all across the board.
All right. No full list. You know.
Yeah. So
variety.
I like it. To tell you the truth, those are three. Like I knew one of them. The other two I just rattled off because I was like kind of prepared for it. And then I just kind of fell off the wagon on that one.
Al, what's one word you got?
Football IQ.
Like it. Love it.
Well, Coop, I appreciate it, brother. I know you got to go. I know Molly's in town, so
Hey, I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, Coop Dog. See you next week.
Keep drinking that hose water
Every day.
See ya.
See y'all.
So, Al, I've got my full list. I'm gonna have to go honorable mention Hank Jr. Number 4, Willie Nelson. Uh, Number 3, The Grateful Dead. Number 2, Allman Brothers, obviously. I mean, come on. And number 1, Irk Russell.
Diverse.
I mean, it's a lot of music, but like,
I feel like you got a lot of different personalities there, though.
oh, for sure. 100%. I mean, Willie Nelson, Hank Jr. I mean, just the amount of people in the Grateful Dead and Allman Brothers, I mean, that's a lot. And then you add Irk Russell to the mix. Irk would
Irk Russell.
he'd be sitting in the
Dude.
corner, probably drinking a glass of whiskey, smoking a cigar. Like that's what I imagine him doing if he was alive right now. Like eating a nice steak dinner, you know.
All right, give me just a sec. I have my first 2 for sure. That's Teddy Roosevelt, one of the fathers of wildlife conservation, president, army guy. Teddy Roosevelt is in mine for sure. Elon Musk, I want to sit there and have him just explain space to me like I'm 4. Herschel Walker, feel like would just be an absolute wild card. We don't know what personality we're getting that day. And then my 4th would be Morgan Freeman.
Ooh. Honorable mention?
Honorable mention goes to Joe Rogan.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. See, I forget about him, so I guess he'd be the honorable mention for me. But another guy that I was just thinking of because you mentioned Teddy Roosevelt, just because of wildlife, and I was thinking of Steve Rinella.
Oh, dude, that guy is the shit. I love Steven Rinella.
You listen to his podcast?
I haven't listened to his podcast, but I've watched a bunch of his TV show.
Dude, you need to. It's the Meat Eater podcast, like super easy to find. Like, it's freaking awesome, dude. It's awesome.
I love him, dude. He is the shit. Yeah, he's one of the like champions of modern hunting.
Dude, he's got a new season coming out. They were just filming. Joe Rogan killed an elk, like probably about a month or so ago, and they were filming that like for Meat Eater. I'm pretty sure. I very well could be wrong. So,
And
what's up?
I think he's done a couple of episodes with Rogan. Rogan's a big hunter as well.
Yeah, yeah. So I think like Steve took him out there, and they were filming for that, and they got him an elk with a bow.
Oh yeah, dude. Joe Rogan and his freaking 80-pound drawback. I don't think that people understand how challenging that is. I think I have a pound drawback on my bow. And if I'm out of shape, it's really hard to pull back. Like it is challenging. 80 pounds is just freak of nature. It just pulls it back like that. That's unreal strength.
Dude, and like what's a great sound is like as you hit that release, like the sound of like the arrow coming out of it, like and then hitting a target, like it's just a satisfying noise to me.
Very satisfying noise.
Did you kill your elk with a bow?
Hell no. Rifle.
You didn't kill it with the bow, man. Come on.
But dude, I'll mess around and shoot my bow like at a target, but I've never really felt I've gone bow hunting with my rifle a little bit, like during rifle season, but I've never really felt comfortable enough to actually sling it at an animal.
See, dude, I just like give me a crossbow, man. I will be excellent with that thing.
Dude, a crossbow is just rifle hunting for guys who want to say that they're bow hunting. Like, dude, come on, just commit to the rifle. Like, let's all be honest with each other. Bow hunters, but crossbow is just like you want to be like a primitive guy, but you don't want to fully commit. Just pick one.
I feel like I would be the guy to get a crossbow personally.
I'm not saying they're not cool.
Yeah. I just want one for like a cool factor of it.
Okay, well then yeah, that's respectable.
But like also I probably would use it. But like if I kill a deer with it, I wouldn't post the picture with the crossbow in front of it.
That's where you grab your bow that's been sitting in the closet and then put that in the picture.
Yeah.
Bow kill, and you just don't specify.
Yeah, no pictures with the crossbow in front of it. Oh man. Except if if you got a little kid, let them shoot the crossbow.
Oh yeah, little kids and like disabled people, older people that still wanted to bow hunt, stuff like that. And crossbow fully acceptable. But if you're a grown ass, in good health man, you should not be using a crossbow.
So do you feel like if you were a female hunter, crossbow's fair game?
I don't know because I know a lot of girls that bow hunt as well.
What if you got like okay, on those people that what kind of drawback do they have? Do they have like a 50 pound?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know exact specs. I mean, a strong girl could definitely do a 50 pound.
Yeah, 50, 60 pound. I feel like that's not too much. I mean, 80 pounds, like you said, that gets a little, I think my shoulder would pop out of socket if I did that.
Daggum beefcake to make an 80 pound drawback look easy.
Brock Lesnar's daughter.
She could do an 80 pound.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's all I got, Al. You got anything else for the people?
Go dogs, go Eagles. Eagles season didn't end quite the way we wanted it to, but dogs going to redeem us on Saturday. -20 is a lot of points, but I'm just looking for, a good solid win. If we don't cover it, then I'll survive.
Yeah, no kidding. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year, whatever you like. Merry Christmas again. See ya. Keep on drinking that hose water.
Drinking hose water.